Welcome to Teacher Topics Express. This is the online version of our teacher in-service system here at the school. I'm Shauna Miles, and this is session 1 of 3 of our series, Data Isn't Just a Four-Letter Word. This is Monkey Business using SurveyMonkey as a data tool. So what is data? The Webster's Revised Unabridged Dictionary defines data as factual information, especially information organized for analysis or used to reason or make decisions. In education, we're most familiar with assessment of student progress as a requirement of the No Child Left Behind Act. And this is most associated with standardized tests like the SAT or the CRCT. So what do you wish you knew about your students or parents that isn't gathered on these standardized tests? What would you like the administration to know about your students? These are things like how many hours a day do your students spend doing homework? How do your parents feel about the level of instruction or access your kids have to you as a teacher? These are things that you can't really find out by just looking at numbers on a standardized test, but they're things that you can gather as a teacher and present to your administration through different means. So when I say quantitative data is most often used in education because these are results that are in the form of numbers. These are your statistics. These are your percentages. Qualitative data is things that you observe in your classroom. It's different. It usually involves descriptions of people, which for our purposes refers to students and situations. What we're going to use is SurveyMonkey as a tool to turn that invisible data, like the number of hours your kids are doing homework, or how many siblings they have in their home life. These are different things that you can figure out or find out or survey your kids so that you can turn that invisible information into visible information for the administration and for yourself. These are things that you can use to make decisions about your classroom strategy. Now, this is what we refer to as evidence-based practice. So, SurveyMonkey is free. It has easy access by web link. It has different types of questions. It has templates. You can change it into language if you've got different languages in your classroom, dealing with students or parents, and the data can be shared. Now, you'll be able to view your results with the free service, but if you want to pay the $20 a month, you can have that exported into an Excel sheet. You can make it visible online. You can do a number of different things with it. So how do you do it? What you'll want to do when you get to this page, which is what's going to happen after you log in, is go to Create Survey. Now, the only option that you have with a basic account is to create a new survey. So we're going to create an end of the year survey. Hit create survey there at the bottom. And you'll see that you have just a basic setup here. Now, you can go ahead and change the look of your survey here, or you can go ahead and add a question, which is what we're going to do. Now, if it's the end of the year survey and you want to create or identify your users here, your responses, you'll need to get demographic data. So we chose demographic information. And you look here at the bottom, we have contact information. Now, we can have it listed here as name, company, address. I don't think we need company, so we'll just get rid of that, so we won't make that visible. Now, we can also make any of these answers required, meaning they can't move forward unless they answer them. So let's click Answer Required for the name and save the change. See, we haven't entered a question. So let's enter a question. Who are you? And we're going to save the change. And you'll see here, the first question is who are you? And it lists all of this information. Now, we can leave it like this as it is right here, or we can add another question. Now we're going to add another question, but if we just click add another question, it's going to pop it in right above the question that we've listed right here. Or we can add a page after. And if you've ever done a survey before, when you add a page after, we're just going to put in continued and save the page. Our question here is going to be how many hours, let's make it multiple choice. How many hours does your child spend doing homework every night? And we're going to save the change. Excuse me. I'm going to put in our options. And our option is going to be 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, or 3 or more. Now, we're not going to make this question required, but we do need more than one column because we have 4 answers. So, we're going to display these choices as horizontal buttons. Save the change. You look there, it says 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, or 3 or more. Now, we can go on and add more and more questions, but what we want to do is add a progress bar because we've added pages. And we can do that by going to our survey options. Now, we have page numbering and question numbering there as one of our options. But we want to show a progress bar at the top of our page. And we'll show the page is complete or percent complete. Let's put pages complete. And there are other options here that we can go through. If we want to remove the logo, we'll have to upgrade to a professional account, but we don't have that time to do that. So we've done that. Let's go back to our survey and preview it. Let's put in our name because that's the only one that's required. Hit next. Choose 2 to 3. Done. So that's the preview of our survey. We've just approved it. So let's go to collect responses. Now here, the best option that we have is to create a link. Now we can create a pop-up invitation if you have a blog or something like that. But we're just going to put end of the year survey. Our next step is to copy our link, and we'll post that onto an email and send it out, or post it onto a web page that we have and send that out, and then we're done. If we want to analyze our results, we can go here, and it lists a summary. Now, if we want to download our responses, we'll have to upgrade to a professional account, which is about $20 a month. So once you've done that and you've collected your responses and you log in, you go to My Surveys, and you click on End of the Year Survey, and you can look at everything. And that's it. Well, now that we know the how, let's go over the what, the who, and the when. You may want to survey students or parents at the beginning of the school year, before report cards are distributed, or at the end of the school year, because different questions apply to different times. At the beginning of the school year, you may want to do a short survey that can help you determine whether or not your students have extra help at home, whether they have access to technology, or whether they are secondary caretakers of brothers and sisters. These all have an effect on how their learning is perceived and how they're able to accept your teaching. Now, before report cards are distributed, you may want to learn how your lessons are being perceived, if the student's perception of the subject has changed, things of that nature. And at the end of the school year, a year-end survey can help determine how perceptions have changed or provide additional data that you can combine with your CRCT data for a more accurate class picture. You may want to know how many hours of sleep per night your kids are getting, or whether your parents knew about tutorials or tutoring sessions. These are great things to know, and these are good things that you can kind of wrap up and to make a nice rounded picture of who's in your class and how well is your teaching being perceived by those individual students. Now, how do you use your data? Now, you can use it as the basis for action research, which we'll go over in session 3 of our series. You can present it along with your CRCT results, as we've discussed, or you can file it along with your student work to round out your portfolio. Now, you can also share it with your teammates for collaboration, or use it as a basis for changes in your teaching style or technique. And as we said before, this is called evidence-based practice. You can also use it in a math lesson to provide real-world context. These are great ways to add enrichment to your classes and your lessons. Now, this concludes this session of Data Isn't Just a Four-Letter Word. And please join us for our other sessions of Teacher Topics Express. And we hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much.